What's up, GT gang? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Mojo GT, and I want to start my videos off a little bit differently from here on out. If you guys don't already know, my father passed away, and then some things happened, and I found Jesus Christ in my life. And a lot of things have changed, and that being said, I want to start each and every video off with a Bible verse to kind of motivate you guys, and even if it doesn't motivate you, at least what we can do is get this trend going, and hopefully we can start making a movement. So here we go. First Bible verse. I've got a list of Bible verses that I have on this notebook that I've been keeping track of when I started reading the Bible. So without further ado, let's get started. Proverbs 26:4. Don't answer the foolish arguments of fools, or you will become as foolish as they are. Take that as you will. For me, it's, somebody coming at me about some argument that has nothing to do with anything, and they're just wanting to instigate in your life. And just stay focused, keep on track, stay on that narrow path, and keep your head up. I love you guys, and I hope you enjoy the video. I'll see you at the end.
What's up, GT gang? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Mojo GT, and this is Martha, my Procharged 426 Hemi. And today we are finally getting to something that I've been kind of procrastinating for a while, and that's this exhaust. As you can see, I already have one finished. This is a rear muffler resonator. The previous owner bought a MagnaFlow catback system. It's actually a really nice, like, $1,000 system, so I'm really glad that he bought that and I didn't have to. A couple modifications I'm going to make to it are actually the tips. So these tips are kind of mangled from going on and off on a tow truck trailer, I'm assuming. And they also don't fit very well in this Hellcat rear diffuser. So I ordered some stainless steel works 5-inch tips. And when I say these things are massive, these things are massive. So they actually fill out this rear diffuser way better. See how they sit like that? That fills it out way better than those other ones did. And it'll look a lot better too. So these just clamp on. So eventually when I get to that point, I'll cut these off and just get a clamp them to the pipe that's left over on the end of the muffler. And I also bought a stainless steel works X pipe. So this is going to be a direct fit. Maybe have to cut a little bit of the end off, but I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of mock everything up, and then we'll deal with that later. I did just get the mid muffler fixed, and this would replace my mid muffler. So I don't want to cut up my mid muffler yet. I kind of want to start it here at run without the X pipe and then go from there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start cleaning up this muffler with some WD-40 and steel wool. It's exactly how I did this one. Get that looking all nice, and then we'll kind of mock this stuff up and see where it gets us. So now, once Brandon gets here, he'll be able to unlock the other garage. We'll go to town on this muffler. And then these pipes, I'm going to leave here forward unclean, just in case I decide to remove it. I don't want to waste time on it. And of course, these will have to get cleaned, but these will be really easy to do. So I'm basically waiting for Brandon now. I can probably remove my actual mid pipes that have my wide bands on and prep the surface, because we have to reseal those. I'm using a copper high temp sealant exhaust RTV, the copper stuff. But with only running these straight pipes out, that was my only exhaust, were my mid pipes. Well, long tubes, mid pipes, and then these. And that weight was kind of sagging those mid pipes. And I think what it was doing was breaking that seal, causing a little bit of an exhaust leak, because Soterra Tuning said that I had a discrepancy in bank-to-bank air-fuel ratios. So that's really the only thing I can tag to it that I can deal with. I know my headers aren't leaking. I'm using OEM manifold gaskets and really good Flowtech headers, so I don't think it's a not true mating surface. And I know the gaskets are good, and I tighten them down with the proper blue Loctite. So I'm pretty confident in that aspect. I would definitely point the finger to these BBK mid pipes. If you can stay away from these BBK two-piece mid pipes, I would absolutely do it. It's a pain in the ass. If I were to do this all over again, I would get the Flowtech mid pipes that are one piece. They're made for these headers. I actually contemplated doing it, but when I went to go order them, they were out of stock on back order. So at that point, I had to have the car running, which meant I had to get my bungs welded onto these mid pipes. So it's really not that big of a deal, but I'll give you guys an update as soon as I can. Those two pipes in the back were actually in the front, but the way the Hellcat differential sits and where the exhaust is supposed to sit on the Hellcat rear subframe, the X pipe right here, where these come together, actually hit the start of the differential yoke. And granted, if I were able to just use that system that I had, I'd be able to just relocate those exhaust hangers and it might have worked. But this is kind of what I have out now. So those two pipes were up here, attached to the mid pipes, and we were just going to have to weld on the mid pipes and clamp everything else. Ended up having to do this. All right, so talk about a major pain in the ass. I'm going to have to get underneath the car and show you guys what's going on. All right, so here's kind of what I got. X pipe has to be at the mid mufflers because the X pipe was actually hitting the differential, and I need them to be farther spread apart to clear the differential and then use the Hellcat hangers. So I had to actually flip my idea around and use those long pipes in the back, which actually works out because that's where I'm going to put my cutouts now. And I cut the X pipe 1 1/8 shorter on one side of it. That way it fits on my mid pipes just fine. Except I think that translated to one of these being a little short, but that's not really that big of a deal because I have extra pipe over there that I've cut off. So yeah, don't have the ability to weld this right now, but as you can see, I had it mocked up with some zip ties. Everything seems to fit really good. Obviously this will be where we weld those V-band clamps. That way my mid mufflers and X pipe is one piece, and my rear mufflers and these long pipes are one piece as well. I'll have a clamp where the jack stand is, so I can actually separate this from those rear mufflers. So actually these long pipes will be a single piece with a V-band and a clamp on one side. And I think that's pretty much how it's going to look. This side fits really good, but that side needs some pipe welded on. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. I have it as close as I can before I can weld anything, and I have to wait on those V-band clamps from Amazon. So I'm going to pull off my rear mufflers, cut off the tips, and get ready to install those new ones. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the driver's side muffler. Let me show you guys what I had to do. So here's the old tip, what's left of it. So I actually just cut it off, and my plan was to slide my new tip over it. Since it's a clamp style, I just be able to clamp it. Except this style slipped over it as well, and they just welded it. So I actually had two pieces of pipe here, 3-inch and then whatever size it is to overlap and weld. Right? Does that make sense? Okay, staying with me. What I have right now is that outer pipe, which is this. I cut it off at the weld, separated it. Now I'm left with that 3-inch pipe. My clamp-on tip fits perfectly now. I had to cut my exhaust hanger off the muffler. You can't see it, but it's back here. It sits like this in order to cut all the way around here. So I've got a little bit of TIG welding experience. I'm going to try to TIG this up, see how it goes. The person that kind of helps out around here isn't here at the moment, so I'm pretty confident in being able to at least tack weld this on, no big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and try it, let you guys know how it goes. Please believe me when I tell you that I'm fully aware how bad this looks, but it's welded, it's done. Just understand that I'm going on a limb here, and I'm just trying to learn something new. So here's what it looks like. Yeah, it looks bad. I had to fill a lot, and I have very little experience with filler rod, but yeah. Moving a puddle around, and I actually blew through right here, so I had to fill it a bunch. And like I said, guys, I know it looks bad, but it's done. It's actually a little bit higher than it was, so that it shouldn't be hitting the tip anymore. So we'll see how it goes. I have to cut and do the same thing to the other one, so I'm going to go ahead and take this down, or let it cool down, and then grab the other one, start cutting the tip off. Keep doing the same thing. All right, here's the other muffler. I have that piece cut off. Here it is. Cut off. Now the new tip will slide right on. Unfortunately, I don't have two of them. For whatever reason, I only ordered one. I guess I thought they came in a pack of 2, and they didn't. So anyway, I only have 1 tip. This is cut ready to go. I had to cut this exhaust hanger off again, so this needs to be re-welded on. We'll get you guys back when that's finished. And we are back, YouTube. Welcome back again. And I have this recess in these V-band clamps. I'm going to put the male side on these straight pipes, and then the female side will go on the curved pipes, which are already down there on the X pipe. So simply weld these around. Super simple. It's got this channel, so it just sets in there in place. Should be really, really easy to weld that. And then we'll move on. All right, huge shout out to Paul, my man. And we just got 1 pipe done. This is the driver's side. Well, not we. I helped him while I helped look at it for him. He welded that. Looks really, really good. Knocked it out. There was some out of round spots, so I got a little bit of sugaring on the inside. Nothing bad at all. So that's done. We're currently doing this one. He's going to do most of it, and then I'm going to try just a little section of it so I can maybe try to learn something today. All right, guys, got all the way around. Left me about an inch or so. I'm going to try to do this. I'll get you guys back when I'm done. All right, so doesn't look nearly as good as Paul's, but took me a lot longer than Paul. But I'm happy with what I did with the knowledge I have. So Paul's able to help me a lot. Got her done, knocked out, and sealed up. So that's the most important part, that it's sealed up. So we're going to let this cool down. I'm probably going to put the female side on to make sure it's not warped or anything. And I mean, I guess if it is, there's nothing we can do about it. But anyway, it's done. Both pipes are done. Let it cool down. We're going to take it back over there and put them in the rear mufflers and actually weld the exhaust hanger on the driver's side muffler. All right, so kind of lack of an update here. What I decided to do is get rid of the slip fit on the end of the mid pipes and put a V-band there. So I actually just have them tacked in 2 places, set them up, and the other side of the V-band is on the X pipe. So I'm going to mock everything up in place, mark it, pull it down, and then we'll be able to weld it in place. So hopefully it goes as planned, fingers crossed. I'll let you guys know how it goes. I did make a couple brackets for the new exhaust hangers on the Hellcat rear subframe. So I got these mocked up, cut the old hangers off of my exhaust, and I'm just going to throw a little bit of weld right here. I'm going to try to TIG it really quick. Shouldn't be too difficult, so should be able to melt it together, throw some filler in there. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. And then I have 1 pipe, technically 2 pipes, but the same pipe on either side away from being done with the exhaust. So we're gonna have to weld a V-band on one side and then do some pipe fittings. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this really quick and then try to throw it in and see where it gets me. All right, after a shit ton of hours in fabrication and even my uncle coming over to help, this is what we got. I've got it tacked in a bunch of different spots on the V-band and the pipe itself that needed welded. So I'm probably going to put a couple more tacks everywhere around it, bolt it up, and then start on the other side. I'm going to have Paul, Brandon's uncle, weld the pipes themselves once they're done. So keeping it clamped together will prevent it from warping, and if it does get too much heat, it'll actually warp to the sealing mating surface of the 2 V-bands. So definitely, if you can, clamp the V-band clamps to the V-band itself. So like I said, I'm going to go over this, tack it a few more times, then bolt it up, and then get started on the other side. All right, we are back the next morning, and I got all the pipe fitting done. As you can see, I have the V-band flanges tacked, and I have the pipes tacked exactly where they need to be. I'm not necessarily the welder for me, so I'm going to have Paul do this. What I'm doing now is, while I'm basically get as far as I can without asking for his help. He's a welder by trade. I don't want to just waste all his time. So my X pipe and my mid pipes are ready to be installed. I took them off, cleaned the gasket mating surface. I am going to use the copper RTV for these. So what I'm going to do is, while these are bolted together, because it's not a perfect fit, they are a tad bit warped. So what I did was clamp them together. I'm going to bolt them in, and this is exactly how I had it bolted in when I did those rear pipes. So I don't want to maybe kink it one way or the other. So I'm going to take this, seal each mid pipe, seal each long tube, bolt it up, get it tight, and then I'm going to remove the X pipe, seal those, bolt it back in, and then that's when I'm going to ask for Paul's help. Because then once these are welded all the way around, and these brackets as well, these are those brackets that I made for the exhaust hangers. It's just a piece of 1/4 inch stainless steel flat stock, drilled a couple holes in the center, got it out with, and then I rounded it out with a burr bit, M8 bolt. It fits absolutely perfectly. So I'm glad that I was able to do all the tacking. I didn't need any help to do that. Definitely getting a lot better with it and a lot more comfortable. Got these exhaust hangers in place, welded. When this thing is fully installed and I fit everything, and it fits absolutely perfect, I am going to have to modify the tips that way, because they don't fit exactly how it should with this rear diffuser. The passenger side fits really, really well, but this one I'm gonna have to cut like an angled pipe to get it to where it exactly sits center. So good thing I have these 5-inch pieces of steel that I cut off of the X pipe. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna bolt this up, get it installed, take it off, take the X pipe off, I mean, and seal that up, get everything installed tight, and then we're gonna get Paul over here to weld these and then install everything, and we should be able to start this thing by the end of the day. All right, so it's been a minute since I updated you guys last, but the exhaust is 98% done, I would say. All the pipes that are underneath the car are where they need to be. I have just one part that I'm gonna make a dedicated video on. But anyway, this pipe right here goes underneath the gas tank, and the differential sits about here. And this pipe would just slide right into this, and it wouldn't clamp as much as I would clamp it down. It would not clamp a nice seal. So actually I'd take this to a local shop and they were able to expand it, because with my little handheld expander, which is somewhere, some here, somewhere, right there, not made for stainless steel, so I'm not too mad at it. It even said right on the box to not use it for stainless steel. And obviously, guys, we're running stainless steel. We want to run the nicest stuff we possibly can. And anyway, now that you're updated, I got these expanded. They fit really snug. As you can see, they don't even go in all the way. I'm gonna have to tap them in. So that's fantastic. It's gonna seal perfectly. And right here, we're gonna put some cutouts. I'm gonna make a dedicated video on how I install them, how to install them if you have a very similar setup to me, or at least show you how I did it. So anyway, I'm gonna continue doing this. I'll catch you guys on a little here and there. Maybe we'll give you guys a little bit of updates, but I will make a dedicated video on the cutouts themselves. So stay tuned for that. Let's get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the first pipe. This is the passenger side. So basically what I did was, I put it up where I thought it needed to be with the actuator mounted. And then I measured off of the last part of my exhaust to the start of the cutout. And then that's when I cut my distance for my pipe that was already existing. So essentially, cut it off here. And then I cut this much off the backside because I just added the difference. You didn't really see it, but it was in and out a bunch of times to weld it up. So I'll show you where I'm putting the cutout, because the actuator valve is just way too big to just stick anywhere. So let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the full exhaust. We have Flowtech long tube headers, BBK mid pipes, Innovate Motorsports dual wideband setup. We have a stainless steel works or stainless works X pipe, 304 stainless, of course. We have 304 stainless V bands and V band clamps. Back to some slip joint clamps with a custom offset pipe. Had to mock that up ourselves with some 304 stainless V band clamps. Here is MagnaFlow pipe cut to add a Speedlab cutout. MagnaFlow pipe cut to add a Speedlab cutout. So that's what that setup looks like. And we have it going out to the rear mufflers now. The driver's side is complete. It's where it's going to be at. And as you guys can see, this thing is rock solid. I love it. We do have to weld an exhaust hanger on the muffler. You can't really tell because of where it's at, okay? But it is kind of set too far over. Anyway, it's set a little bit too far to the outside of the car. So I think the easiest thing to do, because this is exactly where I want it, at least for the most part, it's pretty symmetrical on both sides. What we're gonna do is cut this exhaust hanger off, weld a little bit higher on this radius. That should push me over farther a little bit. So that's exactly what I want. It's exactly what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna remove this rear muffler, cut this hanger off, weld it a little bit higher, throw it in, test fit it, and then we'll tack it in place, of course. And then throw it in, make sure it fits exactly how we want it. And then from there, we'll get to welding on the extension pipe. because as you guys can tell, I'm running huge tips and they sit out a little bit farther, and we have to add a little extension pipe to these mufflers. So we'll have to do the exact same thing over here, of course. All right, guys, about to start it up for the first time. Wait for my O2 sensors to heat up.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome then hearing the difference between the two.
So the suspense. We got one, we got two. All right, here we go. We're in park.
Alright guys, that does it for the exhaust install. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Next time we are going to be installing the electric cutouts, a dedicated video specifically for that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video very much that you just watched, and I really appreciate you going through your day and watching the video that we put together for you guys. It took a long time to edit this really long video, going through all this content that I have pretty much a year's worth built up. So that being said, God bless each and every one of you guys, and yeah, like, subscribe. Check me out on my other social media outlets, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. We're going to start posting more frequently on everything. That's the goal at least. So keep your head up. I'll see you next time. Peace.